Laser welding is easy, they said. Anyone can learn it in an hour, they said. Well, then how do you think I felt as someone who's been welding things together for a quarter of a century when I messed up on something as simple as this? Mistakes were made, lessons were learned, and this video topic is completely different than the project I was planning on showing. Let's go ahead and get into this project, and I'll show you where things went wrong. So this area back here has just been a huge mess ever since I got the xTool. And I have the air compressor, the air dryer, and then the power supply were all shoved back there, and I'd like to get the air dryer up above the compressor. And so I need to make a simple wall mount there, and I have a little bit of 1¼ inch square tubing left over from a previous project. And I thought this would be a good opportunity to laser weld a little bracket. One of the biggest keys to getting a good quality laser weld is having a really nice tight fit up. You can weld a gap with the laser, it's definitely possible, but the hassle factor goes up tremendously, and it's hard to get something that looks as good as you'll get if you have a nice fit. Whenever I fabricate something where the miters are 90 degrees to one another, it's pretty easy to mess this up, but by some miracle I got them all right this time, and they fit together pretty well. So I've got those right there. Then I'm gonna have these two uprights here, which, that's the wrong one. This one right there. And then this piece fits in between them like that, and one more cross member down there at the bottom. Something like that. Looks like I cut that too long. I don't know what's going on there. Yep, I'm 1 inch long on that, better than 1 inch short. Let me trim that up. All right, now that fits just right there. I'm gonna go ahead and throw together a little fixture here on the table, and then we'll start tacking it up and take a look at some of these laser welding techniques. A lot of people ask what table I use. This is the Siegmund System 16 from Quantum Machinery. Had it for several years now and been really happy with it. Now, because these holes are on a 2-inch grid and I'm shooting for an even number 12-inch wide shelf, I can just use these directly without having to measure out or use this sliding slot at all. I just throw one of these bolts right in, and this end is machined to line up exactly on the inch right there. Now here's what the fixture ended up looking like, and this is so nice to have. Huge time saver, it improves quality, but you can also do a really good job just with a regular square, and you tack one part at a time and move your way around. The machine I'm gonna use is the xTool MetalFab 800 watt unit. I like this in a lot of ways better than the 1200 watt unit when I need portability. Let me show you why. I have a lot of videos using the 800 and 1200 watt units, but the 800 watt unit has the wire feeder built right into the side of the panel, so I don't have a separate feeder to carry around. You still have the dual drive roll system to be able to push whatever kind of wire you're running, and I'm running 045 ER70S6, so just carbon steel wire. That works really well for welding steel. I get a lot of questions about what shielding gas I use with laser, and I use argon for everything. Main reason is that I don't want to keep another shielding gas around. Now, nitrogen is suitable, especially for like 300 series austenitic stainless steels. It can be fine on mild steel, but argon will work pretty well across the board. I'm gonna flow some gas and then dial this back right around 25 CFH, and that should be plenty. Now, every machine has pros and cons, but one place that the xTool has beat every other machine I've used is the interface right here. It's super easy to just select carbon steel, and then your thickness, your wire size, and turn it on. But I've actually fine-tuned some for this type of tubing. You can just go in and name it in your technique library, select it, and I'll click apply right there, and it's all ready to go. I'll just put tacks in a few places like this. So most of these corners, I'm just gonna put 3 tacks, but here I'm just gonna zip up this outside corner right now. Slipped a little bit there. So that came out a lot better. One thing with laser is you can't see the puddle versus the joint and control it in real time as much as an arc process. At least I can't. And so I'm relying a lot more on that wire to follow the joint, which is awesome when it works, but when it doesn't, you know, you can wander off and end up with something like that. I missed part of the joint on several of those welds. This is gonna be just fine, but it presents a bigger risk. Let me show you. I'm new to handheld laser welding here in my little shop, but I'm not new to laser welding. If you aren't familiar, my career before I was making YouTube videos full-time was as a welding engineer, largely in the aerospace industry as well as industrial gas turbine engines. And a lot of those components are welded together with laser or electron beam welding, and I worked with those processes extensively. Now, those laser welders were completely automated, and running them was a lot more like running a CNC mill than it was a manual process. But this brings up one of the biggest issues and biggest risks on those parts. Let me show you. So let's say you have two components that are coming together in this way. Well, if you miss the joint completely, you can see that. But the bigger risk is that you catch the edge of the joint like that. From the surface, it looks like it's welded completely, but the joint itself is actually untouched. And so for that reason, in those processes, it was very important to always dial in and locate your parts to make sure that you made it all the way through, and use non-destructive testing like radiography or ultrasonic testing to make sure that you consumed it. Well, what can we do with handheld laser welding? Now, the best thing that you can do when you're welding a butt joint like this is just put a very slight bevel on it, and this gives a spot for the wire to rest, and it'll automatically guide it through. It makes life so easy, and you can have confidence that you're hitting the joint and penetrating through the whole thing, because that's what laser's really good at. Let's go ahead and run a demo doing that, and you'll see what I should have done. Now see, when I put these together, there's a groove for that wire to ride in on every one of the four sides. And that, I believe, is really the key to getting a good result out of running one of these lasers on tube like this. So that right there, my friends, I think is really the key. Just having a groove for that wire to ride in. And if I had taken the time to do that, which I knew I should, but I just tried to take a shortcut when I built the project. But if I'd have taken the time to do that, it would have come out just fantastic like that. Let's go ahead and finish this project up by putting a shelf on the top. But before we do, I'll just mention that this xTool 800 watt is really an incredible system for the price. It is still expensive. Lasers are all expensive, but it's under $5,000. And there's an incredible discount code that they've just given me that'll link down in the description below. So be sure to check that out if you're in the market. It's one of the best deals that you'll find. Let's go ahead and wrap this project up. I'll just spend a little time with the unwelder here and there are a lot of different ways I could cut this, but since I have a laser here, I'm going to zip it with that. You want to make sure there's nothing below this because that beam stops for no one. Oh, there's just a tiny amount of dross. I'm going to knock that off with the grinder real fast. Now, xTool sent out this Max Clean accessory. It's like a big stick to be able to get more width with the cleaning function. I think this is a good chance to try it out. I don't know, it looks kind of interesting to me. So the end of this thing has a wheel with a little switch. And I think the idea is that this rod, you know, gives some visual indication of where that beam is going to go, since it's just shooting through the air. Let's try it out. Seems like as long as you don't move too fast, it works pretty good. That's pretty interesting, I'll give you that. Well, in the end, it turned out pretty good. It's gonna work just fine and free up some space over there. Hey, thanks so much for tuning in today. If you enjoyed this or learned something, let me know by leaving me a comment or hitting that thumbs up below. And I just want to give a big thanks to xTool for sponsoring the channel and this video and the opportunity to show some of this equipment. If you are interested in picking anything up here, there is a link and any current discount codes in the description. And if you're not interested in that, no problem at all. We'll see you next time.